We are starting out here in Pillars of Eternity from Admeth's Den, the home of the Dozens, and trying to figure out what to do next. I think we're going to head off to the main story. We're going to head off to Dyrford Village. But first...
All right,
We
then.
need someone to help us seek an audience with the Duke. But the Dozens are little more than a mob.
But first, we have a little conversation here with Pelagina, which surprised me when I was not recording. So I started over and started recording from here. Well, Pelagina, they're common people, disorganized maybe, but still people. That doesn't make them a mob.
I have nothing against common people, but the Dozens are easily agitated and always seem to be looking for a fight. It wouldn't take much to push them over the edge.
Oh, I know.
I don't think Defiance Bay is due for another civil war quite yet, General.
Yeah, it'll be fine, Pelagina. It'll be fine. That reminds me, I got something that said mob justice last time, and I don't know what that meant. Was it a spell? Was it a ability? Was it a achievement? I don't know what it was. Well, I've looked all through the menus. I can't see anything that says mob justice. I see under party reputations, we are now a hero of the Dozens. We're a hero of Defiance Bay and of the Dozens. So, that's pretty cool. We have 3 points under benevolent, 2 points under diplomatic, 2 points under honest, and the rest, clever, aggressive, passionate, rational, and deceptive, have 1 point. Interesting. I don't remember making any of those decisions, but whatever. We need to rest, because our party is wounded, so I'm going to go to a tavern. We also need to stop by a merchant and buy some camping supplies, so I'm going to pick up 3 camping supplies from Paragon's Goods. A night's rest at the Goose and Fox. That didn't work out quite the way I wanted it to. I was trying to get that campfire in the video, and I was too late. Okay, we are now ready for adventures. I think we're ready. We got everybody's rested. Excuse me. Let's go to the world map. And head out to the Storm Gorge Vale, which is, again, it's the wrong name. I know it's the wrong name. Stormwall Gorge. I know the word storm is in it, and I know the word gorge is in it. Somewhere. That's where we're going. I think instead of trying to clear out the map, I'm just going to walk to the other side of it and get to the village. I'm thinking that exploring the maps is relatively unhelpful. Because it seems like the quests are structured so that you just kind of pass through the maps, and then you get a quest later that causes you to go back to the map, and then you look for something in the map. Oh, here's a corpse. I mean, unless there's something right on the road here, I'll just grab this. And some spring berries and some herbs and stuff. But yeah, I mean, there's not a lot to gain from wandering around the map except to fight things. And, you don't really get a lot for fighting things. Alright. We're heading to Dyrford Village. 6 hours it will take. Here we are. Find someone in town who knows about the ruins. I've finally reached Dyrford Village. It's a sleepy little backwater, but there's gotta be someone here who's familiar with the ruins.
You work for the Dukes of the Valian Republics, huh?
For as long as they will allow.
Must be nice always knowing who you're supposed to serve.
Well, there are 5 of them, but even so, knowing who is easier than knowing how.
Those two talk a lot. Eder and Palagina. Still trying to learn her name. Ah, the village is, a Temple of Barath. I wonder what obnoxious Durance will say about that. Oh, by the way, in the last video, I cut out a lot of boring parts, and one of the things that I cut out was shuffling the party again. I started out putting Durance away, but then I realized that, I really needed a healer in the party. So I didn't like doing it, but I put Sagani away and brought Durance back, because I really like Sagani, and I'm sad that she's not in the party anymore. But, I feel like we have enough ranged damage dealers, so we definitely need a healer and a tank. And I feel like Pelagina, with her melee abilities, kind of rounds out the party better than a ranger does. So, that was my thinking. That's why Durance is here instead of Sagani. I didn't really explain that in the last video, because I cut that part out. Hello, cowled man. Us? We're just minding our own business. Okay, I didn't say anything. Medrith, standing by the river. An elf idles by the road, watching the village across the river. He nods as you approach, and the cowled figure standing near him falls silent.
Gods keep you.
Greetings, friend. A slow smile forms as he eyes you. How did I get a small file out of that? Man, I'm dyslexic this morning. A slow smile forms as he eyes you. If I'm not mistaken, you and I share a common acquaintance in House Demonel. Indeed. I'm here on a little errand. There's a thief hiding out in the village, an Orlan named Nifri. She took something that belongs to the Dominels. I want to find her and get it back. And how do I figure into this? Simple. You're the smooth talker. All you need to do is find her and lure her out of hiding. My friends and I will take care of the rest. I'm not sure about this. He frowns, fidgeting with the handle of his weapon. Don't let your soft heart get the better of you. The Dominels make excellent friends and terrible enemies, as our last Nifri will soon find out. I won't repeat what I just said. Mind that you don't either. Okay, bye. He gives you a quick casual salute. Help me out, and I'll make sure our mutual friends hear about it. A new task. A woman named Nifri is on the run and hiding out in Dyrford. Medrith has asked me to find Nifri, a thief who stole from our mutual friends in House Demonel. Are we friends, though? Are we really friends? I feel like that's kind of a strong word. So I feel like this is going to be an episode of exploring Dyrford Village. So, if you don't want to see me looking around Dyrford Village, look away now. We have entered the Temple of Barath, where we find Selby and Harbinger Beodmar. Hello.
Out with you! I already told you what... I'm sorry. I thought you were one of those ruffians.
Wow, are all you... Wait, this is Barath. This is not Magran. Durance is a Magran follower. This is Bareth. I don't know anything about Bareth. Poor fellow. That looks painful. Kana frowns, his brows knitting. It's a sorry deed, striking a priest. Oh, I guess you're saying that the priest has been beaten up.
How may I help you?
Oh, what happened to you?
I never saw their faces. Strange hooded men asking about those ruins. Cliaban Rilag. Most of the brigands who come through here asking about the ruins are looking for a few ancient trinkets. But these people knew the name, and they were in a hurry.
Cliaban Rilag? I know that name.
They wanted to know where Cliaban Rilag was. I tried to keep it from them, but I couldn't hold out forever. I don't know what they were up to, but it can't be good.
My friend Eder wants to go there, I think. Aloth looks at you, frowning. That does sound like the leaden key, doesn't it? The old priest nods politely. Well, I realize you were just beaten up because someone asked you where the ruins were, but can you tell me where the ruins are? I won't beat you up.
The Glanfathan tribe that guards the ruins will kill anyone who trespasses there. And they'll retaliate against us too, if history is any indication. We've had too many fortune seekers stir up trouble of late. If I'm to tell you, I'll need to know your reason for wanting to go.
You'll tell me because I'll give you and your assistant another beating if you don't. Well, there's a dangerous plot unfolding there. I've got to stop it.
If that's the case, then we may already have trouble headed our way. I'll have to take you at your word. You'll find Cliaban Rilag here. Whatever trouble you find there, please end it quietly and try to stay out of the ruins.
Okay. Hey, tell me more about Dyrford while I'm here. Folk here tend to keep to themselves, as they do in most towns this deep in the Dyrwood. They're suspicious of travelers, but with all the brigands and refugees moving through the area, who can blame them? Is this a temple of Barath? What can you tell me about Barath? Well, Barath is the most universal of all the gods. It oversees portals and cycles of all kinds, even life and death itself. Under Barath, an ending is merely a passage to another beginning. Barath has many representations across time and across cultures. Around the Dyrwood, you'll commonly see it depicted as the Pallid Knight or the Usher. The Glanfathans, however, know it as Bunen. Bunen? I don't know, I can't pronounce it, but they know it as Bunen. Oh, there's more to it than just Bunen. What? Wait, okay. What the hell? The Glanfathans, however, know it as Bunen. Jesus. How is that? How are those letter combinations allowed to be put into words? The Glanfathans know it as Boonen I Anku and Anku I Boonen. It just rolls off the tongue. Okay, well, tell me about the Pallid Knight. She's one of the youngest manifestations of Bereth, but a familiar one nonetheless. Stories describe her as a gaunt knight in black armor with black eyes, black hair, and milk-pale skin. She demands an impossible toll from travelers who have tarried too long on her lord's road. Some challenge her only to slay themselves in the process. Well, who is the Usher? Kith have written stories, songs, and poems about the Usher for centuries. Sometimes he's folk, sometimes dwarf, and sometimes merely a walking skeleton. He never speaks, but he guides the way to death and the next life, and also creates the circumstances for the wayward to stumble into their own graves. Ooh, spooky. I've never heard of Boonen I Anku and Anku I Boonen. It's definitely a combination of words that I would remember hearing before, I think. Well, it means life in death and death in life, respectively. You see them as two skeletal figures, one male and one female. Explorers have found them carved opposite one another in doorways, but I know of no particular legends that speak of them. Okay, well, thanks for the information. Of course, Bereth was once more widely worshipped in this area, but it is a silent god. He smiles sadly. These days, people find themselves in need of clearer answers. Okay, farewell. Wow, we have only been here a minute and we're already making progress. Biadmar showed me where to find I've already forgotten how to pronounce that. Cliaban Rilag, but he warned me to steer clear of the Glanfathan tribes guarding the ruins. Okay, standard operating procedure for the Glanfathan ruins, I believe. Avoid the locals. Flames dance amidst scattered offerings. Keys, coins, and the tiny skulls of birds and mice are mired in the melted and hardened wax. Okay, that sounds unsanitary. Who's this Selby person over here? Talk to Biadmar. No one trusts me with anything more than lighting candles. Okay. Okay, bye everyone. We don't even have to go into the village and we're already... I mean, I feel like I could just go to the edge of the map and go right to the ruins now if I wanted to. There it is, Cliaban Rilag. Nope, I can't go directly to the ruins. I have to find another way to get there. Guess we have to go into the village after all. Hello, good day, guard. A word, traveler. I only require a moment. Oh, okay. I will speak to you, House Herond guard.
Hail, traveler.
The guard sighs with relief as he looks at you. What are the odds? Stuck in this backwater only to meet the famed champion of Defiance Bay. Bereth's wheel brings mercy today, indeed. His demeanor grows serious. Perhaps you could help. I don't suppose you saw a young elven noblewoman on the road. I'm stuck in this wretched place with the rest of my unit until we find her. I don't think I've seen anyone like that. Same as everyone else in this blazing village, he sighs. Perhaps you could go speak with Lord Herond at the inn anyway. He'll be grateful for the assistance, and it could be the locals will open up to you about his daughter's disappearance more than they have to us. Oh, another disappearance, you guys. The last one didn't turn out so good. Lady Aelys Herond has disappeared in the quiet town of Dyrford. Lord Herond is sick with worry for her and fears that the townsfolk are intentionally keeping something from him. A guard on the bridge to Dyrford told me that Lord Herond's daughter is missing. Lord Harrond is waiting at the end. He would know more about the disappearance. Well, we have quests upon quests in this town. Is that the inn there? That's Dyrford Mill. There's a Grieving Mother. Oh, that's a party member. When they give you a name like that, that's a potential party member. I think I've seen that name in a Google search, too. Let's stop in the mill first. Hello? I'm here exploring the town. Have you been to Defiance Bay? I heard there's no Hollerborn there. I think you've been misinformed, sir. Can't remember the last time we had a healthy birth in the village. Okay, well, not much here. The mill grinds slowly away at a trough of grain. No exciting quests in there. Moving on to the inn, I suppose. Let's go to the town square. You must have seen something, says the bystander. We've already told you we haven't. Stop peeking in our windows. That lord will have bigger problems if his guards keep pushing us around. Not many new faces these days. Most are eager to leave Dyrford. Okay. The Dracogen Inn. The Dracogen Inn. Okay. And the town well. Every town springs up around a well. Let's just go into the inn. Who do we have here? Villagers. 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 Somebody I can't click on. A villager. Villagers, villagers, villagers everywhere. And Sid.
I just want to find her. Surely even you can understand that.
We're decent folk, my lord. Perhaps you should leave and check the wilds.
Oh, well, I guess we'll talk to this guy then, because that's why we're here. Excuse me, Lord Harrond. I hear your daughter is missing. The man wears Adiri-style robes, simple but elegant. His fine leather shoes look like they were made for padding around indoors, yet they're caked with mud. He yanks at a lock of hair twined around his silk-gloved finger. His fine features are etched with anxiety.
My child is out there. Do they not understand?
I don't know if they understand or not.
My lord, we're doing everything we can. Unfortunately, these villagers...
Beasts take them all. I don't care how you do it, but find her.
I take it your child is missing.
Yes, Lady Aelys, my daughter. I've asked around, but nobody in this mud hole has any concerns beyond their swine. They turn my men away like beggars and seem downright pleased to be of no use. But you're not one of my soldiers. And you look like you're used to getting your hands dirty, if you don't mind my saying so.
And maybe if you weren't so rude to them, they would be more willing to help you. His guard leans in. My lord, it's a merchant. Yes, that is correct. My backstory says that I am a merchant from the Deadfire Archipelago, and apparently it will come into play in this instance. For the first time ever. I've just noticed this painting over here. It looks like the cover of a romance novel. That's pretty funny. Harrond raises a hand to silence the man. If you find her, he nibbles the thumb of one silk glove, tell her I won't be upset with her. She can come back, and all will be well. I just want to make sure my Aelys, my child, is safe. Nothing in the world is more important to me. Well, I'd like to ask a few questions about your daughter.
Aelys, of course.
I promise I'm not being weird when I ask this question, but could you describe Lady Aelys? She's a striking young woman, bears more resemblance to her mother than me. She has auburn hair and delicate, well-bred features. She must be, 28 or 29 now. Okay, you don't even know how old she is. That's great. Tell me about her disappearance. We'd stopped in Dyrford for a few days. On our 4th evening here, I was making plans to continue our journey. Lady Aelys was feeling unwell and went to bed. When I retired a couple of hours later, I found that she had vanished. None of my men had seen her go, and no one at the inn knew where she was. Since then, my people have been combing the village, but we've yet to find a clue, and the locals have been no help. So, why did you and Aelys come to Dyrford? It was merely a stop along the way to Ina's Rest. However, she took ill shortly before our arrival, so it seemed prudent to allow her a few days to recover. Oh, what's in Ina's Rest? He frowns as if about to protest, but he gives in with a sigh. Well, Lady Aelys has reached an age where it is, prudent for her to marry. Given this legacy business, I can't let her fertile years slip by, nor do I want her womb to fester in the presence of so many hollowborn. Okay. You know, it seems there might be more potential suitors in New Hiamar or New Yama. I have a strong intellect, so I know these things. You think I haven't considered that? Arranging a suitable match is difficult. The best prospects for my child lay in Ina's Rest. Well, if you're looking for an eligible noble, I happen to know that Lord Radric of Gilded Vale is recently single. That would never do. Elves and folk cannot produce offspring together. He's recently single because he killed his wife with a dagger. Anyway, where's the rest of your family? Surely they wouldn't want to miss your daughter's betrothal. Lady Herond is ill-suited for travel, I'm afraid, and unfortunately, Aelys has few other close relatives. My sister and her husband, Aelys's aunt and uncle, of course, have been visiting Adir these past months. He rubs his knuckles. And as for siblings, Aelys has none. My wife has only given birth to Hollowborn. Since Aelys, that is. I see. Back to my previous questions. I don't really have anything else to ask. I heard you arguing with the innkeeper a little while ago.
A petty, small-minded man, just like the rest of them around here. I've been paying him an honest fee for board and bed, and yet he can't be bothered to stir himself to concern for my Aelys.
Well, he's not a sheriff. He's an innkeeper. This is why I'm hoping you can help. He tugs at a lock of hair again. I should have never trusted these people around my child. You know, I hesitate to ask this, because I'm not sure I want to know the answers, but tell me about yourself, Lord Herond.
I'm Lord Nestor Harrond of Defiance Bay. My family has been prominent there since Imperial times. Our primary estate is on the outskirts of Brackenbury, but we have holdings in New Hiamar as well. Those went to my sister and her husband.
Well, that was mercifully short. Goodbye. Blood Legacy. Lord Heron has not seen Lady Aelys in days now, and it seems the villagers of Dyrford have not been much help. Still, I may be able to learn something useful by asking around. We'll just see about that. Okay, who's the Sid person down here?
Greetings.
A redhead stands by the fire, tuning her lute and plucking its strings. She hums snatches of a melody as she goes. First time at the Dragoken? Draco-gen? Normally I'd have a song ready, but I haven't quite worked out this tune yet. I'm writing some chants about the founding of this inn. Say, you interested in the story? I haven't finished the chants, but I could tell you about it all the same. You know, perhaps another time. I do want to look around the rest of the village. I especially want to talk to the Grieving Mother. More villagers out here. She's been missing for days. You people can't keep stonewalling us. Why does some highborn think we'd take his daughter? We've got plenty of trouble as it is. You can't just barge into our homes. We told you she's not here. Alright, let's go find this Grieving Mother.
That's fragrant.
Potions for sale, potions and... Ow! Oh.
How do you do?
A young woman leans against a wagon. One arm and one side of her face are covered with bandages, with raw, rippled flesh showing underneath. A minty, tangy scent wafts from her dressing. She smiles painfully. Just ventured into town. I'm about dry on some of my stocks, but you're welcome to have a look-see. How did you get burned? She turns her face to the ground. By the flame. How bad does it look? Just say it. I know you'll tell me straight. It looks like it hurts. She laughs ruefully. That's a mighty soft way of putting it. I can keep looking and... I've been keeping an eye on a drake's nest east of town, at Dyrford Crossing. The beast stayed just long enough to lay a clutch and moved on. Thank the Sky Mother it wasn't a full-grown dragon. She looks at her bandaged arm and grimaces. Fresh eggs are much more useful than the ones that get passed between merchants or left in nests for weeks or more, and that clutch looked to be at its peak. Thought I'd see about getting an egg, but I didn't realize so many of them had already hatched, or that young worms were so territorial. And what's so special about these eggs? They're one of the strongest tonics known to Kith. If you leave out Caro Golan, of course. Not saying anyone should take that. But dragon eggs are known to make Kith bold, purposeful. Some even think they'll protect from bioax. She shrugs. All I know is everyone's pining after potions made from dragon eggs. But the damn roads can't reach none of my suppliers, so I'm stuck with whatever I can scrounge up in the wood. Deercap, riverreed, and the like. Well, I could get an egg for you if you'll make it worth my while. She keeps her gaze steady, but you see hope kindling in her eyes and twitching at the corners of her mouth. I sure hope you're not leading me on. I don't think I could stand getting burned again. So to speak. If you really mean to go after it, I'd certainly pay you. Just remember, big as they are, dragon eggs are fragile, and there's a lot more I can do with a whole one. So don't break it, is what I'm trying to say.
Greetings.
Anything else I can do for you? I've got some handy ointments if you're braving the roads anytime soon. Have you, seen a missing noblewoman around here by any chance? Oh, that lord's daughter? She was a new shade of green when I seen her the other morning. Chatting with Trigil she was, just outside his shop. She points at the crumbling tower. Oh, what was wrong with her? She tugs at a bandage. No offense, but I hardly know you. I'm not one for gossip, and I certainly don't want to cause the poor girl any trouble. Lord Heron said she was ill from travel. She laughs. That weren't no road sickness. Trust me, I know it when I see it. Oh, she was pregnant, wasn't she? I bet that's what this is all about. Alright, thanks for the information.
Hail, traveler.
I'm not gonna get Nifri right now, so bye. We have a task to find dragon eggs. I'm groaning about the pregnancy because it just seems like it's always the cliche story thing. The woman is pregnant. Ugh. Oh, the woman looks briefly through you as if she doesn't know you're there. It's the Grieving Mother. Hello? Are you grieving? This middle-aged peasant woman is dressed in a brown leather cloth draped down to her knees. Her hands are working at separating stringy, colorless vegetables in a pile before her, stripping the heads off the long, fibrous stems with a paring knife. She discards the stems one by one, placing the heads of the vegetables into a small, cradle-like basket in front of her. She doesn't greet you as you approach. You're not sure she even knows you're there. Excuse me? The woman doesn't respond. She keeps stripping the heads from the vegetables with a steady rhythm. She may be deaf. There's no indication she heard you. I will study the woman. At first glance, she seems nothing more than a middle-aged woman, unremarkable, maybe less stern than most, who seems more focused on the weaving in her lap than her surroundings. Yet you suddenly notice she's not stripping the vegetables before her any longer. She's weaving, and the vegetable pots are now missing. She still pays you no mind, her brown locks torn and snagged from lack of washing, like many of the townsfolk you've seen. There is a strange blur to her. Even the motions of her hands seem to be playing with threads that lack color, in a shape that lacks interest. It may be that she is half-minded or deaf, but something feels wrong. As you watch, her knitting takes on an odd cadence, and you have a terrible suspicion that something lurks beneath what your eyes are showing you. I will focus on the woman. Her brown hair is long, almost impossibly to the length of her hands. As you follow the streams of her locks downwards, the hairs become long and black, splitting off into threads of black and silver and wrapping around her hands. She is forming a soul cradle with the threads, braiding a net in front of you, each finger long and sharp, like a series of knitting needles, almost hypnotic. The silver and black strands of her hair weave together, with silver predominating as a highlight, the black shadowing it. And suddenly, you are calm. You are on a plateau, almost the height of a tower, several stories high. The plateau is like a table lying beneath a clear sky, and beneath the plateau, surrounding it in all directions, a forest, hazy with mist, although whether it is actual mist, or distance, or a recollection. Resting in the curve of a natural arch above you is a great copper bell, half again the size of a man, hanging at attention, as if looking down on you and the event unfolding before you. The plateau has soaked in the sun, and the rock beneath you is rough and warm. The sky forms a cradle around you. You feel different, not disembodied, but you feel your body, your physical contours, have changed along with the surroundings. And you hear a soft series of chimes, like wind chimes. At the sound, the scene gains color and texture, as if the sound is beckoning you gently forth, filling your senses and thoughts, like mist roiling softly into a sealed chamber. And as you focus on the chimes, the chime coaxes you deeper into the memory, and you're certain it is a memory, a warm one. You are on the stone of the plateau, your knees on the warm texture of the ground, silver, white, shimmering like Adra. The plateau is formed of it, glistening in the sun. You can feel the heat on your skin, your wrists, and your hands. Your hands are in motion, weaving, not thread, but gathering, tenderly moving along the first movements of Barath's wheel. Your hands are wet, your hands are upon the flesh of a newborn child, and you can feel the crowning of a tiny head, turning in your grip, its head slick, wet from the womb. The hands you are wearing, inhabiting, have done this many times, and they are practiced and confident. You can feel distant pains in your own head as the head emerges, a stream of fluid from the womb helping the newborn slide forth, and a woman's labored breathing, crying out. And, as you focus on the child and the movement of your hands move. You hear the sound of chimes, clear, cutting through the haze of memory. You cannot see where they are coming from, but they are close, and they are meant as a comfort. Of that you are certain. Drawing forth the child. And coaxed by your hands, every movement causes the chimes to sound again. Almost eagerly, the child comes forth, and as it does, your hands are in motion, weaving, moving along the length of a soft, wet rope. No, an umbilical cord from the legs of the naked woman before you. You are holding a small child, still wet from the womb, before you. The child cries out, its cry full of life, full of soul, the ringing of chimes echoing in its thoughts, filling it with its welcome. The soul is blurred at the edges, as if you are viewing a soul from within a soul. But it is there, it is alive. The woman before you is weeping, and at her first cry, her hands reach out for it. I will surrender the child. You surrender the child to her, something you have done many times before, and as your hands move, the chimes echo the movement, and you realize the chimes are hanging from cords on your wrists, and where once they echoed in the memory, they are now echoing in the child's mind as well. The chimes are intended to welcome the child, to be its first gentle greeting into the world, a soothing sound guided by the tender motions of your wrists. You are helping to weave its thoughts, its perceptions, and the experience. The experience. The woman laughs with a ragged joy, laughing from a parched throat. Her emotions seem soothed, but the physical demands of labor have left her exhausted. But the child is here, the child is safe, and all atop the plateau is peaceful, calm, distant flattening out as the memory persists. And as you pull slowly back and retreat from the memory, with effort the scene bleeds of color and your mind becomes your own again. There is no pull, no anchor, yet the sound of the chimes remains. As they existed in the memory, they sound here as well, and they are hanging from woven braids on the wrists of the woman before you. Even as your head is spinning from the touch of her mind, the sound of the chimes on her wrists is sharp and clear, as if coaxing you back to the real world. The woman still sits before you, but she is nothing like what you first saw. She is wearing black, shredded garments that drape over her form like streamers. Her hair is streaks of black and run through with silver. Her age is almost impossible to tell. She simply feels old, like a crumbled watchtower. As she lifts her head to face you, you see that her hair is draped across the front of her face like a veil. What you first saw of her was a mental glamour of some sort, unconscious, and you realize what you see is not what the world sees, and you are perhaps the first to see her true self. Still, you don't sense a threat in the realization. If anything, you feel a sense of relief from the figure. You can hear her thoughts, and she is glad to at last be seen. Who are you?
I am seen, but the eyes of others do not remember. You were the first to see me as I am, the call stripped aside.
There is a light touch on your mind, a caress, and her left hand mirrors the motion of the touch, reaching up to the air between you. You hear the chime on her wrist sound, softly. Her hand moves as if pantomiming, resting on your cheek at a distance, and she speaks softly and slowly.
Your memories. A cadence of wheels on a caravan track. Fever. Questions by running water. Violence in a night's campfire. Arrows in the dark. And fleeing. Falling rock and cracking stone. And a storm. The storm. The storm that brushed you. Did its screaming wake you from your mind's cradle? Your memory of it is painful. Its cry is difficult to ignore. It's like a child. Many children crying out.
I encountered a bivouac, yes, and it did something to me. Her hand withdraws shyly, the chime sounding softly once again. The woman stands uncertainly, as if she has been sitting for some time, or is too weak to bear her own weight. You notice her cheekbones are tight, her face gaunt, yet while her stance is weak, she seems determined to stand before you.
You are able to see me.
It is almost a question. You suddenly realize she doesn't seem to know what you saw when you looked at her, the image on the plateau. Yet the image was so clear, so sharp, you're surprised she didn't feel you there.
To see me is a rare gift, a watcher's gift.
It felt like a pathway between our minds, but strange, gentle.
So many questions, thoughts, whirling like storm winds. That storm still roars through you, deep beneath your thoughts, yet muted and secret, like an underground river. I cannot tell if it is carving new channels, or eroding what keeps your true strength buried. The fact that you could hear it at all, survive it, is something few have ever done. Your power will grow stronger with each soul you touch, as it allowed you to reach out to mine.
There is a silence, and although it seems to last for but a heartbeat, in your thoughts it stretches out between the two of you, like a pull between your minds. You blink, take a breath, and then you realize she wants to ask you a question, yet can't form the words, as if assembling them is painful, or there simply are not enough pieces. Do you wish to travel with me? You feel a wave of fear gusted with the strength of relief, although oddly, her expression does not change. Then fear dissipates, and you feel strength and certainty, as if the plateau from her memory lies beneath you, and a calm sky looks down upon you. Hey, we have a new party member. I don't know who to get rid of. I feel like she's probably a cipher, yeah.
Safe travels.
Alright, just hang out for a while, Kana. I wanna travel with the Grieving Mother for a while. Dream and Memory, a new quest. I met a strange woman whom I know only as the Grieving Mother. She's a powerful cipher who shrouds herself from plain view. Yet even though our minds experience a powerful communion, I know little about her or where she came from. When I first encountered the Grieving Mother on the road, I experienced a dream, or was it a memory, of childbirth. Perhaps the Grieving Mother herself can explain what I saw. Well, we have a new character in the party. She's kitted out in armor and stuff. She's got fine padded armor and a dagger and a crossbow, and that's it. That's all she's got. I feel like we can outfit her a little better than that. Well, that was quite a story moment. She has quite the history, it seems. Damn, she's got more focus than I do. Oh, man. I'm jealous. Well, this video is getting long, so I'm gonna stop here because my dog's looks like she wants something anyway. So we'll stop here and we'll continue more with Dyrford Village next time. See ya.